Hello, everybody. This is Joy and Sean on this week's episode of Sock Talks. Glad you're with us here today. We have kind of a fun topic to talk about today, Sean, don't we?
Yes, how to record on Zoom, because this is our 15th take. No. Today, we want to talk about, the key is in the follow-up, the money is in the follow-up. So, what your follow-up system is, and, whether that's old school with, the 2 books and you're putting people in, or you're advanced and have Excel spreadsheets, whatever it is, you need to be consistent with it, because truly that's where the money comes into. And also, it's not one follow-up. I've had many people that it's the 7th, 8th, 9th time reaching back out, building that relationship, continually building that relationship, but reaching out that many times to say, man, are you ready yet? And it could be as quick and, oh yeah, you know what, I am. Because a lot of times it's not our timing, it's their timing. So, Joy, what system do you have in place? How do you make sure that nobody falls through the cracks?
Well, it depends what day it is. No, actually, I have a couple of.
On Thursday,
Yeah, on this app I do.
Okay, there's that system too.
Well, actually, I do have a notebook. I do have a basic notebook that I like to put people in that I've engaged with, or I start. If I sent a card and brownies, they do go in there just so I can do some follow up on that. And with the new Sock Pro and everything that we have, and the newsletter and everything like that, I'm starting now to take a look at the people that are looking at the newsletter and reading it all through, or the videos and that type of thing. And I am going to add that. I have not done this yet, but my plan is to get them in my funnel, and that book is my funnel, that I can record on. The only downside that I struggle with on that sometimes is that you really seriously have to just sit down and go through the book every so often, like at least once a week or twice a week, so that you can see the notes that you've taken, because they're not in a chronological order. They're chronological when you first put them in there, but then your follow-up after not is not. But it is a great tool to use with that. I've tried different things in the past with trying to do Excel sheets and that time. Some people are very good at using the Excel sheets, but it's just not something that I do. But you brought up a good point about, the follow-up. And, we all know, if you've seen that wonderful chart about follow-up, it takes 5 to 8 times. I always thought it was 7 to 10, but Jordan the other day mentioned on his call it's 5 to 8. Touches for people before they react. So, you've got to have different means. And everybody I react with, they get a card. We definitely get the tangible card in their hand, which is our product. That's what we do. Send 3 cards a day, send 6 cards a day, send 16 cards a day. Right. It's important that you continue to get them plugged into and do those kind of follow-ups. So.
I do. Yeah, same thing. I do I have those college composite books, whatever you want to call it, the ones that I just list people that I've met, who I've gotten business cards through. And when I first started, it was line by line. Now it's like, you know what, I'll do 2 or 3 on a page, because you want space to put notes. And, I sent a card, I followed up, I scheduled. And once I schedule an appointment and they have seen, actually, I've shown them how to send a card, then they go into my other one that I know these are the group that I've sent cards, and I keep track until they've signed up and we've done some training. And I also, I've gotten better in the last few years, because I've always, even when I was in my banking world, I was a pen and paper on a pad every day. Here's what I need to do. Here's my follow-ups. Using whatever calendar you're good with, with iCal, with iPhones, and, the follow-up. The important part also is, after you've shown them how to send a card, not some will sign up right away, but a lot don't. Is scheduling that next appointment.
Right.
Hey, when do you want? And again, I think we've talked about this. When do you want me to follow up with you?
Right.
Whether I want to take a look at the site, whatever their reasoning is. How about next Tuesday? Great. What time? And I put it in as a calendar appointment. That way I'm not missing that. And then I'll put it in my book, showed following up this date, so I can see chronologically how many times have I followed up. And I go till they say no.
Right.
And I tell them that, I'm easygoing and laid back, but I will follow up with you until you say no. And if you're really not interested, let me know. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. And it doesn't mean you're not going to get cards.
Right. So what kind of calendar you use?
I use my iPhone, in my iPhone
iPhone calendar.
because
Yeah.
I have this on me all the time. And then
Hmm.
if I'm scheduling follow-ups, I don't overlap with some, hey, can we talk on, don't want to mess this up, what we do, don't want to mess up another appointment. So if I have them in there, they're all in one place.
Okay. Okay. That's
Um,
interesting. And I use that calendar as well, but I don't use it for my follow up. And I guess
yeah,
that's probably a great thing to do is to try to do that as well. Of course, we've got the Sock Pro. They do have tools in there for follow up too. And I haven't
sure.
gotten really involved with using that too much.
Mhm.
So I think that's something to maybe kind of look at too.
Well, I
Yeah.
think the follow to me, the follow-up is I'm speaking with you.
Hmm.
We've set an appointment. We're talking about what other questions did you have? Are you ready to get started now? Hey, I didn't get time to look at it. That's okay. That happens. Life gets in the way. When can I follow up with you again? And then set the other appointment. I think the videos, the newsletters are just kind of the drips that
Right.
you
Right.
make. I would highly recommend you continue those even if they've said no.
Absolutely.
I'm not interested,
Absolutely.
because no means no right now, but in 3 or 4 months, maybe they've had a job change, maybe they lost a deal because of some. Why did that client
Right.
go elsewhere? Damn,
Right.
I thought I had.
Right.
So
Right.
continue those things, even if somebody said, you know what, I'm not interested. Great. Would you mind if I just include you on my newsletter? There's some great ideas on my newsletter. If I think I see a video that you might be interested in, I know you said no, but just keep you in the loop if something changes, those kinds of things. So you're keeping people,
Yeah.
again,
That's a good point.
and sending cards like, we tell people to do. So,
Right, right. Well, that's a good point. Yeah, I'll share with you. I've been doing something, and I've been doing it now for 7 days, 8 days now. I was in a one of my groups I was in. We did this challenge of Go for No. We've all heard about
okay.
these
Yep.
Go for Nos.
Great book.
And yeah, it is. It's a great book as well. Well, so I mean, right away it's like, okay, I'm going for no. So what I did is I do a lot of communication by Facebook message.
Okay.
So I would just see who's on Facebook. And I put together a little script kind of thing, and I just put their names in each of it that just
Hmm.
basically says, "Hey, how you doing? Hope you're well." Just wanted to reach out. I said, "I'm sure. I'm kind of guessing there's people in your life that really need to be lifted up, or need a smile, need a pick me up, or a smile on their face. If I send you a link to send a card to them, would you do it?" That's all I said in the message. And I'm doing 10 or 15 of those a day. Actually, I've
Okay.
gotten up into the 20s, but I'm stopping at 20 because I know Facebook's going to be mad at me pretty soon. So, anyways, I'm sending those out and I'm tracking it. And it's really interesting. A couple of things I've come up with, but I've had 6 new customers since last week that sent a
Nice.
free card.
Okay.
Okay. But I have, I didn't count it here this morning because I had quite a few this morning again, but I probably have about 17 people that said they would. And I've gotten those,
Great. That's fine.
and that's okay. Of course, some of them already had sent out a card counts, then when that starts a whole nother dialogue, like, hey, are you, have you looked at this? Have you seen
Right.
that? Kind of thing. Um, because they're customers under somebody else, of course. But anyways, so that is real interesting to me on what I'm seeing develop with that. First of all, I'm going to tell you, don't do it on a Monday. Monday is the worst day in the world. Do it. You get no. I got more no's on Mondays than I do any other day. It's
Okay.
like
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so today I did 15 today. Out of that 15, 7 people said yes, and I've had 1 no.
So
Now a
you're
lot of those
just
people, yeah. So yeah,
going
and
on
that's.
Facebook, seeing who's on right now, and you're
Mhm.
sending the message to those people right now.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. And then once they've said yes, then I'm using the Sock Pro and I'm sending them the link.
Okay.
If I know they're going to do it by an app, I do ask. I said, "You think you'll do this on your desktop or from the app?"
Right.
Because if they're going to do from the app, I'll find out which one and I'll send them the link for the tutorial. For that, and because from there they can click the send card button.
Sure.
Kind of thing. However, what I want to say about today, 2 people today I had built relationships with, and both, a lot of people I have, but these two particular people that I have built relationships, have gotten cards and everything over the years, reached out and said, I'm so glad you reached out to me because I do want to schedule something for my business. And I made appointments,
Perfect.
and it's like, that would never have happened if I didn't take the time to do
Right.
this challenge and reach out to them. Who knows? And there's probably so many more people like that out there, that are just kind of waiting for their time, and you have to stay in touch with them. So if you don't,
Absolutely.
and it's not like I had a follow-up system with any of these people, I'm just like watching them every day. I block out some time. I do it early in the morning. So I have the rest of the day to do my follow-up with it,
Okay.
kind of thing. But it's beginning a follow-up process.
So
every one of these people, of course, as soon as they send a card, I've got a 5 card campaign which goes out to them. And then the people, even the people said no, I will get cards out to them.
sure.
That kind of thing. And
Stupid. No.
yeah, 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 that big,
Can't believe you didn't want to lift somebody's day.
yeah. I know.
Gosh,
What's
no.
wrong with you? It's 1 card.
Yeah. Well,
Come on, just
yeah.
so
Now, how can you word that a little different where you're actually, or do you think you would get the response where you're going to actually just walk them through their first card?
Okay, it's funny you say that because I've kind of changed my thinking on that from the week. Like I said, I literally started last Wednesday,
Okay.
and starting it. So what I'm doing now, when I send the link to them, I'm doing my own wording on that, and I'm telling them, I said, like, here's the link. I said, if you want to do it by an app, I have a tutorial I can show you. But more importantly, if you want me to walk you through it, I would love 20 minutes of your time and be able to do that with you. Okay. Now that might not be as strong, and it's not coming out and saying, okay, let's schedule an appointment, because I do believe there's a lot of people that can't schedule the appointment right then, or
Sure.
they're not ready to do that card like right then, but they want to do the card. Now I kind of throw another little loop in that because I tell them the link is good for 3 days.
Nice. Put a time frame on it.
Yeah, I put a
Yeah.
time frame on it, and that gives me the opportunities because I know now who hasn't done it, and I can go back to them and
Right.
say, "Hey, I just want to make sure this link
I
is not
saw it
broken."
expired.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to make sure you get this in.
I'll reissue it for 3 more days. You can use the same link. I'll just in my, yeah. They don't know.
Yeah, yeah. They don't know. They really don't know with it, but it's a point of getting them to do it, and getting them in the pipeline. And then I actually have a follow-up video for anybody who sends a free card. It just says,
Okay.
"Congratulations, you've
Is
made the
you?
world a better." Yeah, just for
Okay.
me. I just recorded a new one this morning walking actually,
Okay.
and just like, congratulations, you've made the world a better place. I know you. It was you. You put a smile on your face when you were doing it. And you're going to put a smile on their heart when they get it.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing. And I said, now I said, you can go back in anytime and send a card. I said, however, there are some options that it's going to cost you $275 a card. I said, but there's options to pay less. Just click on the website above there. You can see the different options.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I always say, again, I'd love to schedule some time with you to show you.
Right.
So anybody on any of these that are asking me questions right away, okay, when do you have 20 minutes that we can sit down and go over it? I'm right away jumping on that at the time.
Okay.
So,
Perfect.
but I do have way too many that haven't done it yet. So I know the gap of trying to get the appointment, getting them to do it and getting them in the system so you can do your follow-up and that kind of thing is
Right.
is
And I
important.
know, people download apps all the time and figure them out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they do. However, it's kind of nice when you just that first card you walk them through because you can add a few things or, who do you
Yes.
really want? Who really do you think needs it? I mean, that's the important part because they're going to get a response back
Right.
lots of times. So,
Right. Right.
okay, well, that's a great way would be a great way if you're watching and you're like, I'm struggling finding people just because of what we're going through. Yes, there's Zoom networks and there's things like that, but people some are kind of waning and, you might not be having the appointments that you had when we were meeting face to face with things. So great opportunity to look at Facebook every day and pick a time or pick different times and who's on here and let me just do a little script and
Right.
to
Yeah.
create appointments.
And the interesting part was, two of the other people today, they've been on Facebook Zooms with different meetings, and I've always put the offer out there. I'd love to let you send a free card and try the system.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know, give me the information. They, two of these people have been on numerous, like 3 or 4 in in this whole pandemic situation. We've been doing Zooms, and they've never held their hand up to do that. But yet, when I reached out to them individually, they thanked me for letting them try it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was interesting too. So it's something else to look at. Just because they didn't hold your hand up then, it's that personal message, it's that personal touch, it's that one-on-one. They thanked me for letting them do it. And I'm thinking, seriously, kind of thing. So
it's a special thing when you send a card to somebody and like you said, it puts a smile on your face, and it's going to put a smile on somebody's face. I got a text today. You did it again, made me laugh and giggle, and those are great to get. So, well, now
Yeah.
that we've gotten totally off topic about follow up, and now how we create. So now it's how to create new appointments. No,
Yeah.
but that's what we do here.
Yeah,
So
well,
yeah,
it's
I
a
would
it's a start of the follow up. For me,
absolutely
I've got that sheet, so that's like a whole total, and I have a whole place for notes. So I won't rewrite those in a notebook because I'm just not going to recopy them,
right.
but they're there. They'll be part of that notebook to kind of follow up with
Yeah.
moving forward.
So with follow up, I would say whatever works, whether it's totally online, like
Hmm.
you said, Excel spreadsheets, and I can just do different columns how I want to do them, your calendar, or if you're old school and you just want to write, here's who I've met, and then I transition to here's who sent a card, and then I go until they say no, and then I continue.
Hmm.
So whatever works for you, there are multiple ways to do the follow up, but it's the most, besides that first walkthrough and having somebody send a card, the follow up, it is in the fortune, or the
No,
fortune's in the follow up. Yeah.
fortunes follow up.
Yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
so it's got fortune and follow up in it.
We know what you were
Yes.
saying
Yeah.
there, Sean. It's all good.
Bass backwards, as my
Yeah.
mom used to say. So,
Yeah,
um,
well, it is, and get out of your own way too on the follow up. So many times we like, just like these people on the video. Oh, they heard me on the video. I'm not going to ask them again. They know where I'm at, or I've already asked them once 7 months ago, or whatever. It's everything's on their time. We've got our time, yeah, but everybody has their time too.
right.
So, and
And
the follow up.
just what you said, 5 to 7 times to follow up for them to give you an answer, it some takes 5 to 7 times for them to even allow you to show them how to send a card.
Exactly.
So
That's
don't,
right. That's
and
right.
consistent, whether
Yeah.
that's half hour a day, every day, or 2 hours on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever you do, however you do it, be consistent with it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I can tell you, I can look back at my business, and I mean, we all go through ebb and flows, but it's when you have the biggest growth. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. And like so you're consistently doing the activity, then all of a sudden the activity starts coming your place, and then you stop your consistent activity, and you
I'll
can't
do
do
it.
that.
Yeah.
You've really got to find a way to do that. And it's real interesting. When I was coaching a couple of my team members this week, two of them had the problem with blocking time, and trying to figure out that block time. And so we had discussions on that. And interestingly, if anybody follows the Wild Sock group, which is Callie and
Hmm.
Willie's, they've been talking about blocking time for 2 weeks in a row. And I just happened to jump in to listen to one, and then it's time blocking. Yesterday, a webinar training, guess what was on? Time
Time
blocking.
blocking.
It's like, okay, somebody's really
I'm
trying to
getting
tell
all
me about,
right.
I think I'm
Well,
getting the message here,
put
block the time.
put that on your calendar too.
It is. That's
And
right.
don't, if somebody wants to meet at that time, say, I can't, I'm not available at that time. That's okay.
Hmm.
You don't want to feel desperate, like, what time? I can do any time tomorrow. Give me a call.
Yes.
Hey, how's next Thursday or Friday? Give them
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Give them times,
block that.
even if the whole day is open. Give them
Right.
times.
I'm
Yeah,
good at
are you
2.
available at 1 o'clock?
Right.
That's like today when we were going to record today, and the reason that's not happening is one of my team members has got on me on a three-way with somebody. She's just starting out, so
Perfect.
we're doing a walkthrough, and she went, and it was at 2 o'clock because I had given her 2 before you and I talked.
Right.
Kind of thing. So it's like you got to block that time out.
Yep.
Just block it out and block it out the plan. It's one of the big tips on both of the calls on time blocking is how to try to do it the night before. Try to block your day out the night before. I struggle with that because I'm so washed out by the end of the evenings. I can't even think about what I'm gonna do next day. But boy, I'm a little very on top of it at 6 o'clock in the morning. Looking at my day, saying, okay, this is what I'm gonna do.
With the iPhone calendar, you can, if I want to follow up on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 o'clock, I can just have those continuous meetings, and they're out forever.
That's a good idea.
That way I know those 2 times, that's when I'm doing my follow-up from the previous week or the previous few days. And I've
That's a
blocked
good
them out.
idea.
And it's a continuous until I delete the event. It's on
Right.
there every week.
Right.
So,
That's like I put on my calendar. Yeah, this is way off topic here.
imagine that.
Well, imagine it. Yeah, when I was on Eagle's Nest. and it was such a great thing to be a part of. Well, then that the season I wasn't on Eagle's Nest, I left it on my calendar. I left it on my calendar
Yep.
every week. It pops up every week, Eagle's Nest. I'm thinking, I'm going to get back there. Of course, we're
Yeah.
both part of that now
Right.
anyways, but it pops up and I laugh at myself because it was just like, it's there. I'm going to be
Good
back on
job.
Eagle's Nest. Yeah. See, that's why we're still on it, because I put that on my calendar and
See?
it's there,
Yeah.
And that's
Stories
a
in your
good
mind become
idea.
the stories of your life.
I never thought about that, Sean, about putting just instead of putting the detail of the block time,
Yep, just block
this
it,
is my
follow up.
just block. Yeah, that's
Yep.
a great idea.
Yep.
Thank you,
So,
Sean.
you're
You helped
welcome.
me
We
today.
always learn something new.
I know, we always do.
I'm gonna do the
We always
Facebook
do.
thing. So,
Yeah. So, but anyways,
all right.
well, I guess there's nothing else. Well, we could probably go
So
on and
find
on,
your
but
system, be consistent, and block out time to do it.
there you go. There's our
Back to 3
message for
things.
today.
Make it
Back to
easy.
3. Yeah,
Yep.
we'll make everything 3 things from now on, Sean.
Absolutely.
How's that?
Send a card, show somebody how to send a card, and train people on how to do 1 and 2. That's
Yeah,
all we
there
do.
you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good thing. Say
yep.
that's a little different. The 3 S's for the company: send a card, share a card, and show a card.
Right. So,
Show how to send a card. So, yeah, I think that's with what I'm doing, as much as I feel the positivity of and the yeses that are coming out there. Boy, the piece between actually doing it, actually the yeses and doing it, and then transitioning them to something better.
well,
I already know I've got some 3 paths there that I need to, that I'm going to be following up with
and
them.
people, yeah, I'd love to do that, and then squirrel,
Mm-hmm.
and then okay, hey, did you send that yet? And that, kind of the knowing that they didn't, you know the answer. Oh no. Well, hey, you got a half hour tonight or tomorrow? Let me just walk you through it real quick.
Yeah.
That way,
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah.
do it.
Well, the important thing to follow up with them too is, if they start that card and they don't finish it, they're no longer linked to you, and it's not going to be free. So I always, on my second call, follow up with them like, have you had a chance to do your card yet? Oh, no, not yet. I said, well, just remember that if you get to the very end and it's not free for you, let me know right away, because the link's gotten broken. If they go ahead and do it and they send that card, number one, they're probably not linked to you. They're an orphan out there that you've got to find again.
Right.
But a follow up, if you're not following up with those people, you would never know that.
You never know that. Nope.
You would never know. You would never know that. So you need to follow up with them. And
Yep. Perfect.
Okay, perfect. All
right, my
right.
friend.
Well, hey, thank you. And
You're welcome.
thanks for having everybody here today. We'll see you next week on the next episode of Sock Talks with Joy and Sean.
Perfect.
Take
Have a
care,
great week.
everybody. Bye
Take care.
bye.